Cool Dickies. I like it.
So first, were you a RoboCop fan as a kid?
Yeah, I was a big fan of RoboCop when I was a kid. I saw the movie maybe 20 to 25 times before I even heard of this remake.
Okay. How have you been able to forget all that to do this?
Um, well, I think the first RoboCop that Verhoeven made. That's the film that I revere. Then they went on to do two more films that I didn't think were any good, and then a TV series. And now society has changed so much. Technology has had an exponential curve, and it has put us in a place where what was fantasy in the original RoboCop is now coming very close to reality. And there's a lot of interesting and difficult decisions that we as a society, all the different countries, are gonna have to make a decision about um, when it comes to using this technology, and that's the reason it was a great time to revisit the concept of RoboCop. And when it comes to the character, um, Jose created a completely different universe, and the character goes through something very different. So when I look at portraying this, I didn't think of the original that much because I think first off, I come from the theater, and in the theater we do this all the time. And if I'm thinking about the last person that played Hamlet, I've already failed. So you have to focus on your own thing. But in this case, it was very easy because he was going through something very different.
So there's no beef with Peter Weller.
Not from my side, anyway. I'm a huge fan of his. So
Uh, Seriously, you realize that crazy fans are gonna hate you just because it's a PG-13 movie.
well, you can't fuck with crazy. You know, crazy is crazy.
I think you were really good as Alex Murphy. We feel it's despair after the transformation.
Hmm.
Uh, if I say this movie is not really a RoboCop movie but a Alex Murphy movie, do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's about Alex Murphy's struggle to maintain his humanity, even though that he has gotten this invincible body, but he's still very vulnerable, and it's about his journey of maintaining himself.
You, the hero from the Snabakash trilogy,
Hmm.
also on the TV show The Killing. And no offense, but you have, kind of badass face. Um, aren't you afraid to always be this kind of character? I mean, when are you going to do a romantic comedy?
um, well, I did one romantic comedy. I don't know if it was so good. Maybe I picked the wrong one, but I mean, but for me, I'm always looking for characters that have a lot of contrast, that behave in very different ways, and for some reason, I've come back to characters that you know are sort of playing a role in their lives. They're sort of actors in their own lives. And I did this Swedish series called Joe and Falk series, and in Easy Money, and in The Killing. These are all people that are, in their own lives, they're pretending to be someone else at times, anyway. And I always thought that was very interesting. But when I get a character that is, if he on the page, if he's a badass and maybe angry and aggressive, then I always, if it's not in the script, then I always try to find the contrast to that. I try to find when he's when he's vulnerable, when he's weak, when he's afraid, and maybe when he's just very friendly. Because I think that's the most interesting way to sort of. It's the same thing when somebody asks you, "Who are you?" It's a very difficult question to answer because you're so many different things, and I think it's actually the contrasts that define you.
If you got a problem, who you gonna call, RoboCop or Stephen Holder?
I think I'd call RoboCop.
He's the best.
Yeah, if you want to have a good time, you call Holder, but if you're in trouble, you call RoboCop.
The first movie was made by a Dutch director. Now it's a Brazilian. You also half Swedish.
Hmm.
Do you think the story is better told from the outside? Like it needs a foreigner's point of view?
I think it does. Yeah. I mean, maybe not necessarily, but I think it helps in a way because it is a critique in some way of U.S. foreign policy and or where U.S. foreign policy could end up if we continue on this road. And I mean, an American could absolutely have done that too, but and I think maybe some of the satire is easily perceived from an outsider.
Do you think this could be the beginning of a new trilogy?
Perhaps. I mean, it's up to the audience.
You hope so?
I would love to continue to play Alex Murphy and RoboCop. I think it's a fascinating dilemma that he embodies, and I think his story is very compelling.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you.